in all of this, Ghana's democracy is at stake. What has this situation, or what's the impact of this situation on our democracy?
Thank you very much, and then hello to everybody who has joined us. I will pick it up from the World Bank and then the United Nations and other Bretton Woods institutions for the legal framework definition of good governance, where there must be a pillar of accountability, a pillar of fairness, a pillar of rule of law, a pillar of the people being involved in everything that they do. It is very critical for these governance pillars to be able to be adhered. The next point is that we have clothed the executive, i.e. the personality who oversees the executive arm of government, the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, with a lot of powers to appoint and disappoint. What do you expect an individual who, regardless of whether is doing well within a specific space or otherwise, do when he or she receives a call from Jubilee House and says that you have found favor in the eyes of the president? For that matter, we are elevating you to this position, regardless of the position. From that very moment, ladies and gentlemen, your loyalty, your allegiance, your support, your love for the president increases. You become a loyal person to the president. That is not to say that probably you become something that the president can toy with, but it will be difficult, especially within our African space, especially as humans, to say that whoever appointed me, regardless of the pillars of rule of law, sometimes emotions will be attached, and then the desire of the appointing authority will be implemented. The impact or otherwise of the removal of the Chief Justice, with all these issues coming up, we are setting precedents. And for me, when the New Patriotic Party then removed the EC boss, Madame Charlotte Osei, I indicated that a precedent is being set, and soon and very soon, we will see other state-owned agencies or constitutionally mandated bodies in Ghana, whenever a new government comes in, regardless, when they want to do away with the head of that institution, they will find any means and ways to do away with that person. I do more of community engagement. I link policy, I link government directives with the people. So sometimes majority of us Ghanaians, when you go to the hinterlands and you engage people, immediately there is a new government. The mindset of the ordinary Ghanaian is that the government is in charge of everything, including the heads of every government institution. And without the authority and the power and the mandate of the executive, no other arm of government will be able to function and function adequately to the benefit of Ghanaians. So this is the mindset of Ghanaians that we have out there. How do you want to debunk this? That now that there is a new president, this same president, when in opposition, as opposition leader, went round the entirety of Ghana, campaigning and waging, in quotes, war against the judiciary. And as Manasseh said, they gave them different names because to them, high-profile political cases that went to the Supreme Court didn't go in favor of the opposition. For that matter, they felt that because the Supreme Court had been packed with appointees from the Akufo-Addo administration, they were doing the bidding of the Akufo-Addo administration. So I didn't expect anything different. And what is happening now had been orchestrated long time ago. So let nobody be surprised of the way things are being done. It has been orchestrated long time ago when the NDC waged a campaign against the judiciary. And these are some of the steps that they are taking to, in quote, purge the judiciary of the tag that they give to the judiciary. So whilst they are doing it now, what do you think the opposition party will also think? Now, there is a new selection of Supreme Court judges who are going to be vetted by Parliament. Do we say that now we have an NDC group of Supreme Court judges and there's going to be NPP set of Supreme Court judges? So, in conclusion, we are setting a very bad precedent. We are lowering the confidence of the general public within the judiciary. We are lowering the confidence of the general public within the Parliament of Ghana, knowing very well that when the executive says yes, it is yes. It says no, it is no. Tell me, which arm of government doesn't have the influence and the overarching, responsibility or oversight by the executive? The next thing is that we are painting a very bleak picture and a very gloomy picture to the international world that our judiciary is in the hands of the politician. He or she decides how the outlook of the judiciary is. Also, we are making it so easy for those who have been called to the bar and who will find favor and become magistrates and then judges and the rest of them to be able to align as early as possible so that their names will go in the good books of either the NDC or the NPP. So the earlier you align, the better secured your future is. That is what we are painting, and we are telling those who are pursuing the legal career, especially if you want to climb to the apex to be a Supreme Court judge. Begin to align now so you find favor in the eyes of one of these political parties. And we sit back and say that one of the most independent bodies of the government or the arms of government is the judiciary. I think that in principle, on paper, indeed. But ladies and gentlemen, the truth of the matter is that in practice, in real sense, we are deceiving ourselves, and it is opposite of what is enshrined within the super framework of our law, the 1992 Constitution, with other executive instruments, Acts of Parliament, and other laws that govern us in Ghana. We are on a tangent to be doomed. The earlier we find a universal voice, the earlier we streamline activities, the earlier the Professor Kwesi Prempeh Committee for the Constitutional Review tries to amend portions of these constitutional acts or sections for us to have a clear view into the future, the better. Other than that, if I'm not saying MPP,
Hi, Kojo.
Yes.
Yeah, we lost you, so, but continue.
All right. So in closing, if the NPP should win, they are coming with their own set of people. And then the NDC will go and counter. And for how long would we go on this tangent? How long would you go on this? You do me on this legal football games that we are playing with the institution that we should be able to revere, that when all odds fail, the only place we all run to is the judiciary. But if we are able to tag them as political elements and political tools, then I feel, in all sincerity, that our legal or our democratic dispensation as we have it in the Fourth Republic is a little bit shaky. I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you too, Kojo, for your submission.